are. Fucking Juneteenth Eve, if you will. That's the latest thing. It's not even.
I don't know if that's the latest thing.
It's not the latest.
That's the latest thing that you've been aware of.
Didn't know that they worshipped and celebrated Stephen King's supposed death date. I didn't know that was a thing.
He's not dead. Why is he dead?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
They pronounced him dead in the paper, but he didn't actually die.
I read a story about him the other, and like his trash. He had a trash when he was like under his under where he'd write, and it was filled with so much shit that it was almost incredible. Like he had there was an 8 ball of cocaine, like fucking like 25 Ritalin.
Well, he got hit by a bus the day that they pronounced him dead. A van.
Well, I don't know what that means.
On the side of the road.
Like a
but
Volkswagen?
no, yeah, you were thinking it was because of all the drugs.
No. I just
Okay.
that's what he had. That's how he wrote his stories. Like he was just ripped.
He said he
makes
he regrets. No. Cujo, not the book itself. He says he likes the book very much. He just wishes he could remember having written it.
Yeah.
Because those are really good times. Writing is a drug. You get amped. You get in that place where you don't have to be any good at writing. You can get all hopped up on that and then go get fucking loaded. Or you can do it at the same time. But at some point you need to put a period on the fucking page before you fucking finish what you're planning on doing for the night.
Well, I thinking that's quite a lifestyle too, though. Like where you're just basically like, I don't know if that probably wasn't his first book, right? So like he's just getting paid to write. So what's he doing all day?
Oh, he was a teacher before they started paying him. Kerry, he made like $250,000 on his publishing thing. We got it in the paper. It was like Steve Martin in The Jerk when he has a $250 check, goes in and he says 250 donuts, 250 big ones at the bank teller, and they said, "Okay, sir, $250,000." That's when his head turns around. That's what Stephen King went through. He went from working as a high school teacher and things like that, hated teaching. Who doesn't? And just living broke, couldn't pay the phone bills, and then this check for Carrie came in after writing stories in magazines like Cavalier and Playboy and making good money off it.
So I guess that's my point. Like, so he's just getting ripped.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, okay,
just because. Yeah.
Because now I can just sit around all day and like do what I want to do, but I'm also going to get fucking trashed.
That's like Wilbur said to me. Wilbur said to me after I switched from being a professional wrestler at Crossroads to doing construction again. Oh, they love me. Everybody cheered. And
I would have. I never saw that.
I was just wrestling people. They're strong, but they're not smart. And the thing is, it's true. And so yeah, I'm quick. But the thing is, I went to another job, and it's all okay until you bite a verbal. But oh boy, they look at you hard when you do that. They have the women in there, and they're looking at the bite marks on his knuckles. They should have just shut the fuck up. I had done worse things to other people, but they couldn't talk, so nobody could tell. They just point at me and go, "Ma! Ma!" And then Nurse Ratched, she'd look at him and look at me, and I'm standing over. She came in with the lights off, and turn the lights on, and I'm standing there, and he's over there, and he's "Ma!" pointing at me, and she's looking. I said, "I don't know."
I'm gonna I have to collect this for a moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are so many.
The thing is, I went into a job where I was making better money, and Wilbur knew I was a drunk, but he never saw me with that much money. And after a short period of making more money, he came to me and said, "Archie, I'm thinking you're starting to have an alcohol problem." And I looked at him and I said, "No, I've just got more money." That's the point you're making.
Like that guy was telling you had an alcohol problem?
Yeah. Yeah, he was trying to get me hooked on scotch.
I lived next door to him for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So
if you caught him early, he was okay, but after a while...
Yeah, after 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Fucking whatever.
Yeah, so I found that amazing. I did.
I think
He
the,
kept trying to
the
feed
last 3
me.
minutes it's kind of been amazing. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I don't know.
Okay, so anyway, John was talking about
I have.
Yeah,
no-
here we go. Anyway,
I have-
June. Oh, I don't know.
Juneteenth.
Shut the fuck
I'm trying to
up.
make things work here, but we're
Nah,
doing
you're
I
doing
bet
equipment.
you a dollar
You're
you
doing
won't.
fine. I am.
Bet you $1 you're right. Onward and upward.
Christian soldiers.
John Baptiste.
Christian soldier.
I don't want to talk about that. That's the important part.
Fuck.
Fuck you. Okay,
can't
so I
fix
need another
anything.
beer.
Up.
I can't get up and get a beer because
Yeah, you have to talk into the mic.
I have to.
Yeah,
sit
you
here.
have to talk into the mic. That's what you do when you're talking to a mic. You fucking talk into it.
You need to be a free radical.
as opposed to a confined radical.
Yeah, that is it. Free radicals are cancers. That's our evolution. If you can make cancer be a part of you, it will fucking do things like Fantastic Four shit.
Like,
Whoa.
Embrace it.
yeah.
Yeah, you could do a Hulk thing too. No, it was nanomeds, biomeds. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Don't get me started. I read the book on a Greyhound.
So, where's Victoria? Since this is the wife cast.
Well, she's
And
in the right place right now.
better than all
she
of us.
wanted to come, but she's tired. We just drove 17 hours from
How
Milwaukee.
far away do you live?
Milwaukee. It wasn't just driving. I
Holy
should have said
shit.
came.
I
Because
know
once
it-
we got to the
I don't think
to the
Milwaukee's
beach,
17 hours away either.
well,
Now that I
once
think about it.
you
I
get
didn't know
to
you
the
lived in
beach
Milwaukee
and
either.
take a damn canoe across Lake fucking Michigan,
I guess
that's not a
that's
fast trip.
terrifying. Across Lake Michigan?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's how we got to Michigan. We tried to get the ferry, but we ended up by Isidore, big winds, you know. And I
Oh,
was
boy.
going to go to the church and ask the nun, but she's buried under it.
I had dreams of
The
that.
head just kept coming up. The head just kept coming up. I didn't do it.
I had dreams of that place the other night because
I don't
after
know,
you
wait,
mentioned it.
Wait,
Yeah.
Dreams of Isidore.
Yeah.
They burned the school down like 3 times
Yeah, it's
during
still there
those
though.
years. They had to keep rebuilding the school. I'm like, what the hell's going on in this place?
What the fuck are we talking about?
Isidore's
so there's
secret.
this. Yeah, so there's this place over by Cedar, Michigan, where
We were-
like right outside of
Cedar, Michigan.
it. Yeah, so in Leelanau County,
That's
there's.
really weird that was brought up last
Leelanau
night
County.
somehow, and we.
Well, I don't have anything. I don't.
Yeah. Anyway, so
So I guess we could talk
Michigan.
about it, and maybe you could tell us about the. But
I can't tell you anything. Sorry.
But so outside of Cedar, there's this little settlement, or probably an early settlement, I would imagine, of like Polish Catholics that had a church in like a small community. I wouldn't say a town, but they had a church where apparently the priest impregnated a nun, and then they fucking killed her and buried
Dick
her.
Van Dyke played the
You-
priest in the movie.
Yeah, it's
you
in a
talked
movie.
about this before.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But please.
But yeah, no, it's true. It did happen. So I remember sitting in that parking lot and looking at looking at the slide go down the fucking side of the school and things, and thinking about like this is where that happened, and everybody's just kind of I don't know. It's kind of weird to think about that. Like,
It was the housekeeper with a shovel.
yeah,
It was just like in Clue. Go ahead.
no. I mean, you probably got more
You're
information
thinking
than
about
on
it.
me.
No,
I
no.
mean, basically, all I know is that the priest impregnated a nun, and then he killed her and buried her in the basement of
No,
the church.
it was the housekeeper. The priest never gave up looking for her in the woods because he still wanted to believe she was alive. He was a
is.
priest like Monsignor Kaminsky that was just a brute. Monsignor never hit me, but he was a revered man that was just a bastard. And that's what the priest was like. But, especially when they took away his good fine snatch. The Nuns Rules, the name of a book, they'd have
His
all the
good
nuns
fine
carry
snatch.
around.
Maybe she is still
I
alive.
feel like
in
I've
the
heard
woods,
another story about that too.
nun
Maybe
knew-
that was the one I thought about because I spent lots of time in that area, like less than a half mile down the road, and yeah, it's weird. I don't, yeah.
Well,
So you're saying that she escaped to the woods or something?
No, they thought she did, and people were saying they could hear her singing the song she always sang when she was walking around and smiling and happy and a friendly nun. And the housekeeper was just this old Polish woman that had a daughter, and she's just, these fucking nuns, they get to take a goddamn nap for 3 hours every afternoon. I've got to get the place ready for the bishop coming this weekend. And, they get to take a nap because, they got tuberculosis. What about my fucking pain in the ass? And so she fucking killed this nun.
Oh, okay.
And she had said to somebody
Because
was
of
overheard
TB?
saying she hit her in the head in the basement. And this is a fine Polish woman. In just one afternoon while the father was off fishing, he came back late. She'd already fucking buried the nun in the hard dirt floor of the basement and moved all the lumber over the fucking hole she put. But she was overheard saying she fucking hit her in the head and went down. And she's digging a hole and she's fucking throwing her in. She's throwing the dirt on it. And then she said she had to hit her 3 more times with a shovel because her head kept coming up.
So my picture is probably pretty far away from.
Story?
Well, no, I
I
guess
just read the book. This is the amazing thing: is you research this stuff, you see these places, and I show up with paperwork.
Well,
I just read the book. Victoria got it for me for Christmas.
You probably could be right. My assumption is that so he banged a nun and got her pregnant, and that he buried
Yes.
her. But so you're telling me that the priest didn't actually bury the woman?
Correct. No,
Okay, so
it was the
that's-
housekeeper.
That was my
with a shovel.
understanding. So I thought that he had done something and had.
So was the housekeeper was jealous? He wanted.
She just
she
hated
wanted
the
to be.
fucking nuns.
You think she wanted to be
You
impregnated?
are-
Why the
living
fuck
in
did
a
that place have a
convent?
housekeeper anyway? I mean, that place is like 2 or 3 floors. Like,
Because nuns are fucking
Well,
lazy
because
and
obviously
sleep all
the nuns
afternoon.
were napping, not
well,
cleaning.
apparently
shit
they're up to a
up.
lot more than we know.
Obviously, the nuns were not cleaning up. They were not.
Well, I
very
mean, we're
good.
talking. Have you ever
fucking-
read Isidore?
No.
Okay, so it's a violently small town.
Way away
I
from
mean,
everything.
violently small.
Violently
small
small.
Evidently.
I mean, so if you've ever been to Cedar and you go past Cedar, it's a community of it's a corner. It's a stop.
No,
and
I've
so
never
there's
been
a
to
church
Cedar.
on the
I
corner,
think
and
my
there
wife's
was some
been to
old
Cedar,
shit
but-
on the other side of the roads, and there's a bunch of Polish farmers that live in the area, and
That's all it was.
That's all it ever was.
There was no pavement. It took them 3 hours to get from fucking I can't remember.
it's a beautiful area.
From
It really
Ludington
is.
to fucking-
Sounds like it.
It is. It's an incredibly
Nuns
beautiful.
buried it as far as the eye can see.
Well, no, as far
Well,
as
yeah, it's prettier all the time. Every nun in the ground is going
they're right next to
with all the
Sugarloaf, the
sound.
ski resort that's also been abandoned.
Is that where the
Um,
lilacs come from?
No, but it's
It's the daisies. She keeps pushing up the daisies.
if you've never driven
It's
through it or that
wilderness.
area, it is incredibly beautiful.
It's
It-
hard for the was always hard for the tourists to get in, so it was a very
Yes.
tight knit community. Everybody
Yes.
knew
Yeah.
everybody, and nobody stayed overnight, type of thing. If they were passing through for whatever reason. So yeah, I'm sorry.
Except for Sugarloaf, which was right down the road, but then that shut down. And I don't know why. Apparently, somebody just bought that place and they're trying to level it. But I mean, that was it. It's incredibly scenic out there. So for me to believe that something so wicked had happened out there was kind of strange. Like,
Yeah, it's incredibly
you're in this
disheartening.
beautiful place, and you're parked at a church, getting out of your car to smoke a cigarette before you go to someone's relative's house because they don't like you smoking cigarettes. And I park in the church parking lot, and
I've slept in the church parking lot on a motorcycle. Yeah, it's a safe place.
and I just pull in that parking lot of that church, and it was so weird to me here after the fact that sort of situation had occurred because everybody seems so I guess wholesome around there, but.
If you're looking for a pleasant peninsula, look to Michigan. The weed's getting better.
Okay.
Just dabble in murder.
Yeah, they keep.
Apparently,
each other.
nothing's fucking true. You know, like so.
Yeah. Well, you think maybe that's the contrast,
It's a hard thing to
the
take.
necessary contrast? Like you're saying that this is a beautiful oasis, if you will, just kind of
This
like
isn't-
tucked away, and then but it's just laden with just
It's a nice old Catholic church. It's beautiful to look at, and you know, and I'm not Catholic at all.
It wasn't there at the time it happened.
See, that's weird to me too. Say I did not know that.
So
I
they
figured this
built
was the
this-
same church because there's
No.
a cemetery out back,
Yeah.
and
so maybe it is the daisies pushing out from the.
so it's not the same church. Is that what you're saying?
Not the one that it happened in. No,
Really?
really. He was this priest.
No
Father
way.
Andrew.
I don't believe that. It's got to be the
Father-
same fucking church.
Father Andrew was trying to get a church built, and I think, and I may be wrong, but at least the 2 after him was working really hard to get the church built. Everybody wanted to build this church for the people, and they had stained glass windows coming from fucking Germany and shit like that. And the guy that wanted it so bad right at the end, when all this story came out like 10, 20 years later, the priest that was just really trying hard to get this church built, he was down in Grand Rapids for some congregation of priests, a 72-hour something thing that they do. And the one priest, he was trying to talk about the church he was going to build, and the priest from Detroit says, well, take the body out of the basement of the old one before you do that, before anybody finds out. He's like, what? And it turns out that's how it started coming up. A priest talked. Everybody from Milwaukee to Detroit knew that they'd done it, that she'd killed that nun. That's what happened to her, and she wasn't coming back. But this guy just happened to be fucking the housekeeper and got the 17-year-old housekeeper pregnant and had to take her to Ann Arbor to get her fucking let her have the baby so they could give it away for adoption. And he didn't end up building the church himself, but the next guy pulled it off.
So
That's it.
I guess I'm confused. So was there not did a priest not get a nun pregnant?
2 priests did in this story. The priest that
In
was,
Isidore.
yes, the first one, the nun that got killed, was impregnated by Father Andrew, and then years later, 10, 20 years later, the guy that was still trying to build that church, that even Father Andrew, I think, was trying to build a new church for the people, big one. He ended up impregnating his housekeeper.
Okay, I see now.
Yeah, one of the locals' daughters that
So
wasn't
it's like-
married at 17,
Well,
so she needed a job.
I guess that's what you get when you maybe you're building a cursed land.
They didn't put it on the same property. I don't think. I don't know what is the true story, the whole story of that, but
why do
yeah.
why do we always end up somehow fucking?
because I talk about something and he's been there and researched it. That OCD or Oakland child killer thing. I let him talk on that one because I wanted to hear what he knew about it, and he did. He's been there. He's done all this. I haven't been to any of these places. I read a manuscript.
That really
about the
fucked me up
story,
when
and he had more information than I even imagined, because that's just one guy's story. He's got a wider variety.
I mean, I've heard about Isidore a lot, and I didn't know. Maybe I need to read more. I just
Maybe you need to take a drink. You look like you could use it.
I've heard that before. Okay.
There. Yeah, I'll drink to that. Or we could say, yeah.
I've heard. I've smoked cigarettes in that parking lot. And I always thought it was a nice church. And I always looked at around because that part of Leelanau County is so beautiful. It really is. I've always respected that. I mean, the farmland around there is just incredibly expansive, and the rolling hills and things like that are just beautiful.
I'm wondering if it takes a lack of humanity to have a beautiful place.
I just
A
don't.
beautiful place means they're dangerous people.
I don't think the people around there.
They're very
I think they're.
industrial. Right.
Well, I think it's similar to around here. I think like.
They're all related.
Well, yes,
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 that's not an
definitely.
inbreeding type thing I'm talking about. They're all related. It's
They all
like
know each
Mardu
other.
Aborigine fucking kinship culture. How the parent
And that's
marrying and things.
and I think that's perfectly fine. I think that's okay. I think just that the fact that they ignore things maybe is a little bit. That's what my thought always was.
You don't talk about your problems.
and you don't talk about the stuff that happens at the church that you go to apparently.
Yeah.
Um,
And help build whatever. Yeah.
I've always thought that was kind of when I heard that story, I was like, geez, you people have lived here for over 100 years or so, and you have experienced this, because I was involved in a relationship with one of the ones that was directly related to the people that have been farming that area for over 100 years, and nice, very great people, very nice people, but how could you just ignore this thing?
Well, every time they say something about it, like a news story or something came out when that Dick Van Dyke movie came out, when they made a Broadway play out of it, that the movie came out of, it was built from the Broadway play. Every time something came up in the news about that stuff, the locals were saying, why can't they just stop talking about it?
And
They want us to forget.
And I can't
When
even
somebody
imagine the
wants
people
you
that
to forget somebody, you have to wonder what it is they want for you.
I can't imagine the people that I knew around there saying anything about that like that, because they were, I mean, they just seemed like they were, I don't know. I think they were indifferent, perhaps.
I was going to say, yeah.
I mean, because they're good people. But after hearing that story, I just always imagine, like, how come you guys weren't aware of this? Or, like, how come you still attend that Catholic church? Because this sounds pretty fucking wicked. And so you're still attending this church where that, like, somebody killed a nun and it's buried in the basement. So you're cool with that? Like, that's not okay.
All right, you're killing me right now.
What are you talking
Seriously,
about?
because
What?
that happens in every Catholic church, and actually probably every church.
I'm going to start over right now,
All
and
this
I'm going to
stuff
start by
that
saying,
happens.
normally in most Catholic churches, people don't kill nuns, okay? Like, priests don't impregnate nuns, and
That's
then
not-
They
many-
also don't touch little boys.
That's just, hey, what are you doing here?
yeah, if
This
you-
isn't what we're talking about. We have a rhythm.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? I never heard that it was in the lives.
if you
I
want to
didn't
part, you
think
got to let us
mentioned it.
know. We give you a microphone.
All the parts with the wives.
But
and
you
all
might
the
not
layers.
believe it, but there is a flow to this. We do not try to just aggressively offend people. The things that I
It may
say are
happen.
offensive. Yeah.
It comes
We're
subnaturally.
not trying to start something about the boys. This is a nun. Nuns don't just come up missing.
Or buried in basements.
None
Right.
of them.
Missing and then found in the basement.
It's happened.
But Lilo Lakanu is a
We
beautiful
don't-
area, and I love it, and it's nice over there. It's nice to visit.
Pure Michigan. Blow another line.
No, as soon as you said that, we were talking earlier about this, I really feel like I've got health problems now.